So we received a screener to the new film Subservience, and that wasn't easy. But this is going to be coming out in the UK, because I guess we're not allowed to talk about the United States version. So we get to talk about this now. Okay, so this stars Megan with a 3. No, this one's with an E. Fox. And this is about a man whose wife is in the hospital with a heart issue. And so he takes on an android to lessen the load in more ways than one around the house. And yeah, of course, like all of these, something wrong with the android. So, okay, I want to point out that this is probably going to get compared to a movie called The Hand That Rocks the Cradle, which is a big fan favorite of mine that I grew up with. And the funny thing, of course, about that being is that Madeline Zima plays the wife in this, and she played the little kid in that movie. So I do have to believe she was cast in this as an homage to that film, because they are using some of it as a template for this film. Okay, so these films are not new, right? Like, we've seen this idea forever. Yeah. Back to the Twilight Zone, Stepford Wives, whatever, right? The automaton coming into your life and the technology being corrupted in some way, or it getting corrupted through its interaction with humans, or, you know, something goes wrong in the making of it, whether it was like the Child's Play remake or whatever. So this is nothing new. And this film basically just takes every trope that these movies have at this point, puts it all into one film, and does pretty much all of them poorer than the rest. Right? This is a, like, poor man's Megan with some sexuality thrown in it. Yeah. To try to sell the appeal of Megan Fox. I do wonder. I doubt this is true, but I have to believe somewhere along the line, either it was Megan Fox was watching the movie Megan and was like, hey, I'm a Megan. Or they wrote this movie and they were like, well, it's kind of like Megan. And they were like, what if we got Megan Fox? I swear that had to happen behind the scenes.
Maybe.
Yeah, this is a very, very generic, like, B movie. Like, it felt fairly cheap. And I honestly, like, our main character, the dad, just did not work for me at all. And I have other things to say, but what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what it is about the father character that isn't connecting with us, because I think that the setup of everything should be pretty easy to connect with, as far as like the wife having, you know, the medical emergency and, you know, all of that.
They blow right through it though, very quickly.
That's why, like, it does happen really fast. I like Megan Fox's performance. I mentioned to you when we were watching this that I think that these kinds of performances, like the android robot character, are probably a lot harder than people think they are, because, like, being totally blank-faced when somebody's, like, yelling at you or, you know, whatever, I don't know. I think that that's probably a little more difficult than you might think it is.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think she does a great job in this. I didn't really like the way the film looked. We both thought that it was kind of, it just had a lower production quality feel to it. I guess my biggest complaint is that there isn't enough violence and, like, fight sequences, which I would have liked to see more of. I also think that the horror isn't as capitalized on as it could be. In general, with these, like, AI go rogue type of films, I'm usually not a giant fan of them because I always feel bad for the AI. But I do think that like Megan is the best one that we've had, you know, in recent times. And there's a lot of reasons why it works so well. And unfortunately, this one just, as you said, it kind of has all of these tropes and elements from the subgenre and just doesn't really do anything new or exciting with them. So, you know, I mean, I was fairly entertained, like, ish, only because, I don't know, there's some drama stuff, I think, that is, like, kind of fun to talk about or to react to, but overall, I think it's really predictable. And, you know, I guess you could say that this style of film generally is fairly predictable, but I don't know, you always have an opportunity to do something, you know, out of the ordinary and shake things up a bit.
This is an R-rated Lifetime movie with some sexuality thrown into it, and Megan Fox stars in it. That is like the best way to explain this film. This is what this feels like. The drama is all super dramatic, and none of it feels earned. There's a connection that is missing to everything. The film feels weirdly and ironically very robotic in how it's presented. Because we don't spend any time with the characters before the robot comes in, the family dynamic feels robotic. We don't really get to know them beforehand. And because of that, the fact that she's shaking up the dynamic, I don't know what the dynamic was before that. And there are some interesting things explored in the film. I just don't feel like they're satisfying.
Yeah.
Now, this isn't particularly surprising to me because S.K. Dale directed this, as he did Megan Fox's last movie, or I should say she starred in his last movie, Until Death, which we were not fans of, even though I love Callan Mulvey, the villain in that movie. I did not like most of how any of that played out. I thought a lot of tropes were, laced throughout the whole thing, and it just did not go well for me. But yeah, it's unfortunate because when you're saying, like, I think Megan Fox did well, that's not how this is going to be received. She's going to get a lot of shit for this film. Yeah. She's absolutely, because she's the big name in this, she's absolutely going to be targeted as the problem with the film. Right. I don't think she's the problem with the film. I think that there is just a direction issue in here and some writing issues, and I don't really care for most of the characters. I think Megan's fine. It's just that this is not a very good film, and it does suck because she already is someone who is looked at mostly for her looks. Right. And people always laugh at her attempts at, like, performances. It's like, we just want to look at you, and you're just a pretty face. You have no talent. I think she's a very underrated actor in general, and it is a shame that she gets just so much attention for her appearance. And anyway, but yeah, she's gonna take, I think, a lot of the flack, for this. But that does suck because, yeah, I agree. I think it's the direction. I don't like the way that this director directs. I don't know. It feels, like you said, very lifeless. And for movies about, like, AI, though, like, you do need to have... I don't know. I don't want to harp on things that we've already said, but, like, that human connection, like, if you're really trying to draw the, like, contrast between, AI and humanity, you also have to draw the comparison and the similarities, because that's another part of the conversation with it. But because this film lacks that warmth and, like, humanness, that's what makes it hard to relate and connect to the human characters, despite the very, like, intense and dramatic things that are happening in their lives. The film also just doesn't commit to a lot of the things that it's trying to portray. We've got a lot of, like, sexuality in the film, but there's no nudity and there's no like the sexuality of the film is sort of there, but they don't go all in. It's the same with the violence. The violence is very neutered. It's very tame. It's very watered down. And it's like if the movie could have really committed to the sexuality and the violence of it, you could have got at least some, you know, entertainment out of that. But I just feel like everything is half-hearted and not fully committed. I did find one really funny, like this in no way is a fake review at all on IMDb. The headline is, one of the greatest sci-fi movies that has ever been made. Just finished watching The Masterpiece, spelled in two different words, by the way. And I would have to say, this is one of the greatest sci-fi movies that has ever been made since 2001, A Space Odyssey. Also, Megan Fox, no punctuation in here at all, by the way. Megan Fox once again has shown she is just not a beautiful woman in the world, but also one of the greatest actresses of our time. I truly recommend this movie to any science fiction fan, as you won't be disappointed. I hope Subservience wins many awards and Megan Fox for her fine acting performance. I look forward to reading all the positive reviews to Subservience in days ahead, and also I so hope they will be a sequel. They will be a sequel to Subservience. 10 out of 10.
Wow, I'm glad they really liked it.
It is so hard to read this completely. This was written by Alice. This was written by the AI in this movie. Her name is Alice in the film.
I don't think so.
This has zero punctuation. Things are completely broken. Anyway, I just saw this while I was looking kind of like what it's already been said on this. And it's crazy. Like, and then, yeah, I mean, you look at this though, it has 21 of 108 people found this helpful. Another 10 out of 10, 4 out of 35 found this helpful. So people know these are fake reviews. And there's a bunch of like 10-star reviews here. I don't know why films do this. I don't know why they think that, especially like, can you not get better writers for when they're making fake reviews? Like, that's kind of wild to me. And also, can you make it believable? Like, that's so over the top. Like, make it like a 7 and an 8 and be like, you know, there was some good things about it. There was some bad things about it. Mostly, I'm very positive on the film. Those are believable reviews when you have a movie like this. The greatest movie since 2001, A Space Odyssey. I hope it brings...
That's a really... I mean, yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, I did not hate the film. I don't think it's a terrible movie at all. I'm not a big fan of it. You know, as far as this subgenre goes, like I already said, I think Megan is the best one that we've had. We really liked Tim, which is another one that's similar to this.
This movie definitely reminds me of a movie called Wife-like, which I did not watch all of, but what I saw of it, I thought that was better. I'm lower on this movie than you. I think this is a bad movie. I think that there's good things about it. I think it's watchable as kind of like a B movie. If you're like a big Megan Fox fan or something, then I would recommend it. But I think most people will watch this and think it's trash. And I am not going to defend it much. I think it's pretty poor, with some okay parts. So that's that. Anyway, let us know if you watch it. It will be released in the United Kingdom. I don't know anything about the United States version, okay? I have no connection to the United States release at all, in any way, shape, or form. All right, guys. Let us know. Bye.